Breaking news for the Texans. Denico Autry, he's suspended. J.J. Watt, come on down. Let's talk about it. 5 thoughts about the breaking news that the Texans will be without Denico Autry for the first 6 games of the season.
You know what it is. Let's get it. Hey, locker room. Yeah, we in the locker room. Texas talk. Yeah, you know what we about to do.
It was an interesting day of practice, and now it might make a little bit more sense. As I left practice, I saw the news that Denico Autry had been suspended for the first 5 games, or 6 games, of the season. And now today might make a little bit more sense. I'll tell you why in a sec, but first, let's get the statement from the man himself. This is Denico Autry. You got the breaking news. He's going to miss the first 6 games. Here is what Denico Autry had to say about this suspension. Quote, over the course of my 10-year NFL career, I've never engaged in the use of performance-enhancing drugs. Over that period, I have been subject to countless tests, none of which have ever returned a positive result. I was therefore stunned this offseason when I learned that one of my tests returned a positive result. I immediately investigated the matter and discovered that a pharmacy to which my doctor submitted a prescription for a different medication had whether intentionally, recklessly, or negligently included a banned substance. I want to be clear. At no time did I know or even suspect that the medication contained a banned substance. Upon discovering the source of the positive test, I immediately retained legal counsel in connection with the matter. My counsel provided the NFL with information, including documentation from my doctors, establishing that I neither asked for nor was prescribed any banned substances. It was important to me that the NFL know I did not intentionally or even knowingly ingest a banned substance. I understand, however, that under the NFL's policies, ultimate responsibility for what enters my body rests with me. To that end, while I intend to explore legal options pertaining to the circumstances that resulted in my positive test, I have accepted the NFL's punishment of a 6-game suspension. I want to apologize to the Texans organization, my teammates, and the fans for any distraction this may cause. Finally, I want to assure our fans that my commitment to competing to the best of my ability has only grown, and I look forward to seeing you on the field. That is the statement from Denico Autry. We don't got to go through it and say whether we believe it or not, whatever. Let's just talk about what it means on the field of play and what this means for the Texans. And thought number one that comes to my mind, it is the locker room, number one source for Texans digital content, reacting to the news that Denico Autry, who Nick Caserio called a badass. Remember, that's just a badass. He called him a lot of things. It seemed like it was one of Nick Caserio's favorite signings that he'd ever made, but that's neither here nor there. Thought one, Mario Edwards has been better in practice. I'll be honest with you. Mario Edwards has been fantastic. He's been really, really good to the point where he was at the podium today. We got a Mario Edwards podium day, and he had at least 1 sack in practice, maybe a couple of more with the extension of the plays. Mario Edwards has stuck out a little bit more to me than Autry. Thought two today makes sense. So my first tweet of practice today was that Mario Edwards is now listed as a DT on the roster after being listed as a D end up to this point. He's been playing inside and very well up to this point. So that might make sense. That might be why he went from D end to DT. Hell, this might even be why they signed Jerry Hughes. If you really think about it, if you want a bonus thought, like maybe they knew this was coming down, and that's why Jerry Hughes is back on this team, because they need more bodies on the D line. It's possible, trying to make some sense of it. And then they send Mario Edwards to the podium. We haven't even heard from Denico Autry, who is one of their big signings in the offseason. So today felt kind of weird. And oh, by the way, in the middle of all this, you saw Denico Autry walk by without pads on. So I was like, oh, I guess he's off. Is it a veteran off day or what? But Denico Autry was out. Mario Edwards was doing his thing. He was at the podium. He's running with the first team D line. They changed the position from D to DT. And then you have the Jerry Hughes signing. So it might make sense. Thought three, you knew it was going here. J.J. Watt, come on down. You up, J.J.? No? Maybe? We'll see. Who knows? The speculation was there even with Autry. Now, you got to wonder, the J.J. Watt thing, it's going to be a talking point. Thought four, the possibilities on the roster. There's a lot of possibilities on this roster now at the D-line, and you completely look at it differently without Autry being available for nearly half of the season. This is going to change the way that we look at the D-line. Like starting tomorrow, you're going to start looking at other names. Like, does this mean that Kurt Heinisch might get to stay around? What does it mean for Khalil Davis? Like, how many D linemen are they going to keep? What are they going to do? Mario Edwards is on this team, though. Like, there's no doubt about it. He's on this team for sure. And top 5, man, Nick Caserio loved Denico Autry. You got to feel like Nick Caserio might have cried today. He might have been really, really sad. I've never heard Nick Caserio praise assigning this much Denico Autry out. So those are the 5 thoughts. The breaking news, what the heck does it mean? It all kind of makes sense. Going to do the live stream, react to practice. There was a lot of stuff that went on at practice. Go ahead and hop over there. We're going to get started very, very shortly. And be sure to check out all the practice observations, the night stream at 10:30. Got some stuff working. And always remember, when it comes to this Texan stuff, we're all in it together. The first bit of drama of the season, a suspension for the man Nick Caserio called a badass, Denico Autry. JJ, what up?
Localize every angle's what we really do. We the source, we the post to the city too. Landlocked, got the game in the headlock. Localize every time, can't stop, won't stop.